Welcome to the Wellness Transformation Journey podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Peters. The 1% rule supports us in making small, steady changes over time that become long-term for our overall wellness and lifestyle. There are potential challenges that come with this, like with any wellness journey. The biggest challenge is that you won't see major results immediately. As you focus on building over time, either daily or weekly, you will see changes, and those changes add up. In this episode, I'll discuss some of the challenges you may come across and how to deal with them based on my own experience. Sometimes, no matter how hard we work or are motivated, things don't work out the way we want them to. That's a matter of life and no different in a wellness journey. Setting achievable goals for your week, month, or longer can help deal with disappointments. However, goals aren't always enough, especially when we don't reach them as quickly as expected, or at all. One major way to do this is to work on developing habits instead of focusing on goals. One of the biggest challenges with the 1% rule is overcoming the desire to see immediate and major results. It's easier said than done, but you can overcome disappointment and there will be letdowns. It takes time to see visible results, so create meaningful ways to measure your success. Do research to see how gradual adaptation can help you improve areas you want to, then use the list you created to build on to measure your success. I wanted to see results immediately, but after years of experience, I knew it wouldn't happen that way. It hadn't before. It wasn't going to happen this way. I had to reshift my mind and reshift the way I was doing things. First, I started focusing on small, consistent habits and changes. This allowed me to shift my focus from my weight to other areas of my life. I had to change my mindset to recognize that the changes I made there would impact my weight and other areas of my life. To help overcome the potential frustration of taking time, celebrate your consistency, especially in the early stages of your journey or when you hit plateaus, because you won't see the results you're expecting all the time or right away. Learn to recognize subtle signs of improvement like energy levels or the airplane seatbelt fitting without having to get an extension. Consider things like, did you climb an extra set of stairs today? Have you reduced your screen time throughout the day or before bed? Did you eat a vegetable serving at lunch when you normally don't? For example, at the beginning, I would lose several pounds and then put weight back on. This is before I learned how things like salt and my menstrual cycle impacted my weight through water retention. I had to learn to find other things to focus on. I started to recognize that when I was getting up early to work out, my energy levels were higher than they had been when I first started because my body was adjusting to my sleep schedule. I was also following my sleep schedule and exercise plan, and this was a huge win even if I wasn't seeing it on the scale. It's hard to shift your mind, but it is possible. When you're dealing with a long period of time to lose a large amount of weight, plateaus will most likely be something you will deal with. Whether it's a plateau or a slight pause in your weight loss, it can be frustrating, but it's also an opportunity to adjust or solidify current practices. Identify the next 1% improvement you want to make, or focus on a different area, because maybe what you're focusing on is part of the challenge, because your body has adjusted and needs to shift. For instance, if you're eating the same types of foods all the time, your body may be adjusting in some way and you need to shift or even eat a little bit more for a couple of days and then go back to your diet just to give your body that chance to adjust. Progression happens in steps and we must adjust to keep moving forward. To continue to maintain your journey, no matter the situation, connect your small improvements to your core values and identity. Think about how these changes are going to help you reach the identity you're striving for. Build community around your philosophy of creating small changes. This is where your support group becomes important. When they know the habits you're trying to build, they can help you along the way. Along with this, develop rituals around improvements. Since these are daily, what are some ways you will recognize the small successes? Journaling was my activity, as well as I kept track of my meals in a diary on my phone. Another option is to study and celebrate other success stories behind using the 1% rule. Social media is a good place for finding these stories, but you have to remember there are a lot of stories and people on social media pushing weight loss and wellness. You have to do your research because many of them are out there sharing information with no research or personal experience. There are people on social media sharing information that may sound exciting or great, but it's just for attention. Read the comments, view multiple posts, and even then question what is being shared. Look for scientific or expert information to determine if what they're sharing is accurate. Talk to your doctor. Not everyone on social media is there to help or share legit info. There are those who are seeking to be influencers and celebrities. They're chasing likes, and this isn't going to help you, but it can hurt you in the long run and short term. Following stories on social media and doing research will help develop a deeper understanding of the mechanisms that could help you support your desired changes. Also remember, what helped me or helped them may not help you, so you have to find within those what will work best for you and your lifestyle. Now, how do you get started in following the 1% plan? There's really no set way, but here's what worked for me. At the beginning of your program, or whenever you decide to start using the 1% rule, it can be started at any point. I actually started it a while into my journey, probably a month or two, because I wasn't seeing the results I was hoping for and I was struggling. First, you need to establish your baseline for the areas you're going to focus on. I recommend starting with one for sleep, one for exercise, and one for nutrition, and then going from there. If this feels like too much, then just focus on one or two of those areas and build from there. This is where I recommend using some type of journaling or logging system to support you. Write down your baseline and then start applying your improvement plan during the first week based on whether it is supposed to be daily or weekly. Next, during weeks 2 through 4, reinforce the initial changes you made and add new 1% element to your routine. During weeks 5 through 8, add an additional 1% improvement as the previous ones become more automatic. During weeks 9 through 12, don't add any new improvements, but focus on turning the current ones into sustainable lifestyle system. Remember, you're building slowly to establish consistent habits and break the unhealthy habits you have established over your lifetime. While you're focusing on creating a plan for habits you want to improve, you still need to build on the ones that you've already established. To slowly do this, design a sequence related to the improvements you want to make. Decide how you want to build one improvement on another. For instance, you may start by walking 15 minutes a day for a week, and then build to 20 minutes for the next week. Or you may drink an ounce more of water a day for a week, and then build on that. Connecting small wins helps build momentum and helps develop holistic systems of improvements by gradually building. It's difficult to make health changes without making changes to the physical environment you live in. Trust me, I found that out personally. I found that my physical environment impacted the way I felt about myself and my eating habits. Now you have to start considering how to make consistent, minute changes to your physical environment. I've actually found if I'm in a cluttered environment, I get very stressed and it's bad for my mental health. In your physical environment, like everything else you're doing, start by making changes gradually and increasing those changes towards making better choices. Consider areas that cause you frustration and make progressive changes that will support positive habits or how you feel. While doing this, focus on building slight barriers that will support blocking you from less desirable behaviors. When I started this process, I wanted to organize my kitchen, but doing it all at once was going to be frustrating and stressful. I've said before, I'm not a very organized person. I've actually had to learn organization skills, and this has been a great way for me to do that. So I first focused on areas that could help support me in making healthier choices. I started by organizing my fridge to determine what I had and making healthier foods easier to access and putting less healthy foods where they weren't in clear sight. I then moved on to my pantry, then my counters, then other areas of the house. My counters, I don't have food on them that would be easy snacks. I have those behind a cupboard, so for me it's the out of sight, out of mind way. Sometimes this doesn't work, but for the most time, it does help. I found that reducing the clutter and establishing an organization system made me feel more confident, and it reduced my stress level a lot. I also moved this into other areas such as where I keep my workout equipment, how I keep my office organized. Everything has its own space. Adding habits progressively and building on them will lead to successful long-term results. But you have to be patient. Focus on the small positive results and keep building on them. Don't focus on just the scale, but focus on the daily and weekly improvements you're making. Document your progress by keeping a log or journaling. Document your progress visually as well to maintain records of your progress. This may mean sharing on social media or just sharing amongst your support group of people you trust. You will get there, but it does take time. With the right tools, you'll build the habits you need to get there and to keep progressing through your wellness journey.